Shackers. Happy Friday to you all. Happy Friday to you all. Thank you for tuning in to Be Exposed Radio at the Sugar Shack with Miss J. Engineer Robbie is in the house. Miss Versatile is prepping for her play this evening, so she will not be joining us. I'm super excited for her. We have two special guests coming up shortly. We have our motivational speaker and author, Kelly Moreno. We have an author also, Megan Skorowski. She'll be calling in the later hour. So I wanted to kick off the show with just a little devil's advocate. Many of us have said what they would do in a situation. So we're going to play devil's advocate. If that was me, I would have. What would you have done? So if you caught one of your parents cheating, if you caught your girlfriend or your guy friend cheating red-handed, what would you tell? What would you do? So we wanted to play devil's advocate. Give us a call at 1-855-835-5857. Enter 1. If you ever had to play devil's advocate with that situation, we would love to hear from you. Have you had to play devil's advocate, Rob? Oh, okay. I understand. So, super excited once again about this. I cannot wait for our guests to call in. And like I said, it's Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I wanted to give a little bit of news that's going on that will definitely surprise our shackers, because there is a gentleman who decided he wanted to put needles inside of some meat. Yeah, not good. Not good. Why is that, you ask? It's crazy. A little deranged. Yes. Why would someone put... I don't know why he wanted to put needles in the meat. Ronald Aver, 68, hid needles in meat just for the hell of it, says the feds. Federal prosecutors say 68-year-old man inserted sewing needles into packaged meat at a grocery store in his Illinois hometown at least 7 times, just for the hell of it. One buyer of a boneless chuck roast at the Shop and Save store in Belleville, just east of St. Louis, bit into one of the needles, and a needle slipped into the steak, stuck another customer, according to a report by the Associated Press on criminal complaints filed on Wednesday. Yes. SuperValue Inc., the Minnesota-based corporate parent of Shop and Save chain, stressed that none of the cases resulted in a serious injury and that the alleged tampering was isolated to only the meat section of one store. With every customer that brought it to our attention, none reported needing medical attention as a result of the tampering, a SuperValue spokesman said. We have no reason to believe any tampering occurred outside of that one store. Avery, who made a brief court appearance Thursday on the 7 tampering counts, each punishable up to 10 years in prison and $250,000 fine, was ordered jail pending a scheduled detention hearing. Yeah. So FBI Special Agent Daniel Cook, in an affidavit filed with the criminal complaint, wrote that Shop and Save alerted him July 9th of the tampering, which dated to May of last year. Wow. When a customer first reported finding a needle in a package of ground beef, roughly 4 months later, Cook wrote a store employee found a needle sticking out of the package of pork chops. Customers later reported finding needles in everything from ground beef to roast and steaks. Using this surveillance camera footage, Cook wrote the stop In Shop Save, security crew identified a suspect seen manipulating meat items he never ended up buying and alerted Cook on Tuesday when the man again entered the store riding a motorized scooter and using a portable oxygen tank. That's not right. That's not right. After buying various items, Cook said the man was approached by investigators outside the store and allowed them to search his truck, where an open package of sewing needles was found in a center console. Identifying himself as Ronald Avery, Cook wrote the man insisted he kept the needles on hand to mend pants he tore while camping, then gradually acknowledged he used the needles more inappropriately. Every now and then I would stick one in a hamburger, Cook quoted Avery as saying before the man expounded. Mostly hamburgers. A couple of times I did it with a roast, maybe a pork chop every now and then. I'm sorry.
And then it's like he's saying it like it's okay. Yeah. Like it's a good thing to do. Like that's not okay.
That's not okay to do.
A couple of hamburgers.
Maybe a steak or two, a roast.
You can't do that.
You can't do that, sir, while you riding on your little portable with your oxygen tank in the back. And you want to be using needles for people to eat. Come on now. Avery insisted he had no justification for such tampering, calling it a stupid idea for a year. Cook wrote, Avery said during an interview 2 times he inserted sewing needles into packaged meat products just for the hell of it. He didn't want to hurt anybody. He going down. Apparently he has a history of traffic offenses but no previous criminal background. Swanson, the SuperValue spokesman, said any customer who bought fresh meat from the store before July 12th can get a refund or exchange. I'm trying to sue. I want to sue. And that's not one of those frivolous lawsuits either that most people sit here and want to think about and do. No, that is a serious lawsuit. Since last year, 2013, he wants to be inserting sewing needles. Okay. All right. Before we call our guests, we have an unfortunate situation. A skydiver dies while parachuting doesn't open, and the owner suspects it was suicide. A California skydiver died Wednesday when his parachute failed to deploy, but the owner of the skydiving company speculated that the man may have committed suicide. Thomas Steve Clark, 53, died after he fell into a field near Laurie-Ada Lake. Wow. That's sad. Buzz Fink, who owns Skydive San Diego, told Fox 5 that Clark's parachute didn't open, but said all of his company parachutes have an automatic opening device on them that would deploy the parachute if the skydiver failed to do so. Fink says someone would have to intentionally turn off the device, and that we believe that was turned off. He was going through a divorce, and he was basically depressed. One of his friends said they've known him 15 to 20 years, and it's tough to see someone so depressed that they are willing to take their own life. Skydiving accidents have killed about 55 people every year since 2010. From 2005 to 2009, killed more than 60 every year, according to DropZone.com. In March, another skydiving accident occurred in the same area in California, killing instructor Jordan January 27, whose parachute didn't deploy when he jumped with a group of students. Another skydiving accident Wednesday put a New York skydiving instructor in critical condition and killed the man jumping tandem with him. Wow. And I want to skydive before the end of the summer, too. I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah. I don't think that's a good idea.
This is not on the air. Isn't that cool?
You said it's not on the air?
Yeah, it's not.
Okay. So is music playing?
No.
Kelly? Hey, are you ready? Okay, we're going to plug you in. We're going to be live. Hello, Shackers. So, we are back, and we have our special guest, author, motivational speaker, Mr. Kelly Marino is on the line. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. So, we've been talking about you, pumping you up, putting you out there that you were coming aboard at the Sugar Shack. Thank you again for coming aboard today. And please give our listeners from yourself who you are and what is it that you do.
Well, again, my name is Kelly Mariano, and the primary thing that I like to think of myself as doing is I'm a person who empowers entrepreneurs. And I do it in a number of ways. One way, of course, is I do small business coaching / consulting. So with that, what I do is I help a person get some perspective on their business, gain clarity, put a plan or a strategy in place, and then put together a plan to actually carry that out so that people get more effective results at a very fast pace, or a lot faster than they would on their own. In a lot of cases, entrepreneurs kind of get stuck and they need some assistance or just want to get somewhere faster, so I help them do that. Another thing that I do is empowerment speaking, or a lot of people call it motivational speaking. I like the term empowerment speaker just because when I think of speaking to a group of people, I want to not only encourage them or motivate them that they can do it or let them know that they can accomplish their goals, but also give them the tools to get to where they want to be, not that there's anything wrong with the quote-unquote motivation side, but I also want to leave them with a set of tools so that they can hopefully leave an event right away and implement some of those things and see some results quickly. And then a workshop host as well. So we host events. We have an event coming up in September, but also speak at other events as well. So, but our focus for our event in September the 20th, is, in fact, everyone who's speaking knows that whatever they share has to be something that can be implemented in a person's business very quickly, hopefully within the first week. Most of the things that we share with you can be implemented. Whether someone does or not, that's up to them. But it's certainly, they're going to have the ability to dramatically increase the number of people they have, let's say, following them on social media, and start implementing strategies to get more clients, more paying clients going for them. Because a lot of times that's what holds up a lot of entrepreneurs. They get stuck because they don't have the revenue to market effectively and things of this nature. And we try to show people how they can get around some of those obstacles and get to where they want to be. So ultimately that's what I do, is I'm going to empower entrepreneurs to get to where they want to be so they can touch more lives with their products, services, or as a result of creating wealth from their products and services, and then they wind up touching their families in some kind of way, which is why I called my company Impact, is so that they have impact in their generations, not just their personal lives and those immediately around them, but have a generational impact on their family.
So when you started out as an entrepreneur, what was your motivation to drive you to be independent?
To be an entrepreneur in general?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I like to say that it seems like entrepreneurs tend to be, this may sound corny, but they seem to be wired that way, in the same way an athlete is gifted to be an athlete, or an entertainer is gifted to entertain people. Entrepreneurs seem to be wired that way. Very often, even if a person is not operating as an entrepreneur per se, or certainly not as their chief source of income, very often the underpinnings or the things that run deep within them drive them to not want to be in a typical business structure. They tend to want to not so much be control freaks, but there's things that they see that need to be fixed,
mm-hmm.
but they just haven't moved on them. And for me, there was always that side always existed in me. Even when I was 17, 18 years old, I started. This is before the internet was big in that sense. But I was trying to sell books and tapes and things like that through I would just run ads in the classifier in the newspaper and sell them that way, and I learned stuff through that. And then it just sort of progressed where I would just touch different business types. But what I realized is that I really needed to get somewhere where I felt like I was touching my purpose, and it wasn't until I was starting to empower people in a certain way that I realized I was touching on where I needed to be. So the entrepreneur thing was always there, but now it's there in a greater fashion because not only do I get to operate as an entrepreneur, but I help other entrepreneurs as well reach their goals so they can fulfill their goals as well.
So with you being an entrepreneur and an author, a motivational speaker and an author, where do you find the balance between the two? So with you being an author, that takes a lot of time. So how long did it take for you to write your first book?
Well, actually, I had a head start with the first one because the first one was co-written with a number of other authors. So I was a contributing author in that effort, so that didn't take very long. And that really came up on me. It was someone came to me and asked me about becoming involved with a project with a number of authors. There were actually 25 authors on that project, and I contributed on one of those. But I am writing one this year that's just mine called Man in the Mirror. I was trying to think if I should say it. But anyway, but it's called Man in the Mirror, just a Michael Jackson song. But actually when I did a, like a speech or a presentation that I gave at a college here in Philadelphia, one of the things I did was, that speech was called Man in the Mirror, and I started it off by playing Michael Jackson, or a snippet from the song, and then put into a progression. But getting back to your question about the time, it's just a matter of finding balance. Unfortunately, I don't have a typical 9 to 5, so it's a little easier for me to structure out my day and to, find the balance that way. And the thing is, I'm also a member of Toastmasters, and because I'm in Toastmasters, when I do speeches, what I find is that things that I talk about in my speeches kind of channel their way over into the book. Because the Man in the Mirror seems to be an underlying theme for me right now, and a lot of things that we are connecting to that same theme. So my experiences are helping to write the book, if you will, if that makes sense. So when I give speeches, it continues to give me more ideas for the book. So the book is outlined, and I started writing it. My goal is to have it finished by the end of the year, which I should still be on target for. And it does take a lot of time, but it's a little easy. I guess I feel like it's not that difficult because some of it's already written. I'm just filling it in. It just has to be, filled in appropriately.
So with The Man in the Mirror, what is an important message from the book you would like for our listeners and your readers to take from it?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? It was just a little...
I said, what would you like our listeners and your readers to take? What is an important message from the book you would like for others who are going to read it and purchase it and who have already read it to take away from the book?
I think the greatest thing for me, the main focus for me, is the fact that very often it seems a lot of times we're not honest. Sometimes we're not fair with ourselves in terms of what our abilities are. A lot of times it's easier for us as individuals to embrace our shortcomings sometimes more than our greatness, our ability to be great. And I think we often forget that there's greatness and there's challenges in each person. And we can focus on one side or the other, or we can realize that both sides exist in the same human being and do the best we can with what we have. And I think a lot of times that gets lost. That's one of the things that I want people to appreciate is that there is a lot of greatness in them, but I also want to make sure that they realize from the perspective of the Man in the Mirror that they have to realize their perception is important. The perception of themselves is important. The perception or the perception that they give to others about who they are is important. And then the third element is going to be, who are they really? Who's the real person inside? And a lot of times there's a lot of conflict between those three aspects of who we are. And I want people to realize that you really want you want integrity between the three. You want them all to be in alignment with one another, but you need to be honest with yourself. And, there's a story that's going to be in the book about a man who, he told me that he wanted to be, this was years ago, I worked in a bank, it was a credit card company. But anyway, when I worked there, the guy came to me and said, hey, I always want to, and there's another brother, a little older, and he's about my age now, but he was about 10 years older than me. And he said, I always wanted to work in systems. And I happened to work in that division that he wanted to be in. I said, well, what do you do here? And he said, I work in the mail room. He said, I've always stayed in minimum wage position. I said, wow. I said, well, why is that? Since he wanted it that way. And he said, well, I always did that because I don't have a college degree. And at the time, I didn't have one either. So I said, I don't have a college degree either. But I'm in systems, not only in systems, I'm an officer of the bank at the time, and I don't have a degree. But but I just want people to realize, when I'm saying that, just to realize that it's really not so much about the degree. Even if they put that you need a degree on paper, send the resume anyway. All they can do is, toss it, just as well they could toss it for any other reason. But anyway, but getting back to the guy, when he sent that to me, he said, when I told him I didn't have a degree, he said, wow, I can't believe that. You don't have a degree in your systems? I said, yeah. I said, well, listen. I said, what are you going to do in systems? He said, well, I really don't know. I said, listen, figure out what you want to do. Let me know if you want to do desktop support programming. I named a bunch of different things, computers or whatever that he could do. And I said, get back to me, and I said, I'll put you in front of a first vice president in any one of those areas. He said, what? You do that for me? I said, yeah, I'm going to do that for you, which is taking a huge chance because I didn't know him that well personally. So I was I was about to rubber stamp him with my name, which could have hurt my career there. Yeah. But anyway, for whatever reason, I felt inclined to reach out because that's how I'm wired, right, to reach out. So I said that to him. Well, he never followed up with me. And I've had people say, oh, no, he must have forgot. Well, he didn't forget because he came up to me on occasion and said, I didn't forget.
He wasn't ready.
He walked it out. Exactly. But see, in his mind, he was telling himself it was a degree. But then when you pull back the covers, you find out, no, it's not the degree. You're just not ready. But what's not ready, he still needs to find out. And that's kind of what Dan and Mir is digging at to say, you got to dig deeper and identify what's really going on that's stopping you from success. Generally speaking, when I talk to entrepreneurs, and even when Impact started, it started as a group in our home that we did once a month. And a lot of times people have had these reasons why their businesses were failing, and usually it was a lie. We have all kinds of excuses that we can point to, but, when they would get out, oh, I didn't do it because, this happened and that happened, oh, the economy, this, that. There's people that were killing it in the economy. There's people that I know that were doing so well in the worst, in 2008, it was unbelievable what they were accomplishing, and we were complaining about the economy. It's really about your perspective on things. But, like I said, most of the time people lie to themselves about.
We're going to take a break real quick, and we're going to come back.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
All right, so this is Miss J on Be Exposed Radio with our special guest, Mr. Kelly Mariano, Engineer Ravi, Be Exposed Radio at the Sugar Shack. We'll be back.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Did you know that birthday parties help build confidence in kids?
Yeah. Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Oh, totally. Did you know that friendly kids have more friends?
Everybody knows that.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Free stuff for you just for listening to this station. Yo, we got your attention? Here's how it works. You click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for cool stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple. Free stuff just for doing what you already do. Radio Loyalty. Click the banner to join now.
Drug, alcohol, and gambling addiction can be devastating for you and your loved ones. Don't let the disease of addiction ruin everything you have worked so hard for. If you or a loved one is suffering from a drug, alcohol, or gambling addiction, call now and get a free confidential consultation. Help is only a phone call away. Call 1-877-867-3063. That's 1-877-867-3063.
What's up, everybody? We got a special announcement coming right to you from BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, this is Sharon. I'm here to tell you about my show, The Sharon Nixon Show.
What is your show going to be about?
We're going to talk about fashion, life, designers, production, anything under the sun we'll talk about here, including our listeners. We're going to have something special for them as well.
Prizes and stuff?
Oh, prizes. Do you know who I am? I'm the queen of gift bags. Okay.
When will this show air?
Every Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Will there be guests?
Oh, my God, yes. They're going to call in. They're going to be here. Oh, yeah, it's going to be guests.
What station again will this be on?
BeExposedRadio.com.
Again?
BeExposedRadio.com.
Will those police be here too?
Yeah, they'll be here. Because, I'm down here by the courthouse, so they got to... they got to police the prisoners and stuff.
How can your listeners get in contact with you?
They can dial 855-835-5857. Don't forget to hit extension 1 or else you won't get in. Or you can text us at 443-642-9403.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is. Because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Do you have troubled skin, acne? With Proactive, you can heal your acne and help prevent new breakouts. Right now, in this radio area, we're looking for just 50 people with moderate acne to demonstrate exactly how fast Proactive works. The first 50 callers who qualify can try Proactive risk-free for 60 days.
Call 800-388-7152, 800-388-7152, 800-388-7152.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you missed this on Talk Lately.
I cannot tell you what state Ted Cruz is from, but he's a horrible person. He is a horrible person. I don't like him at all. I was just telling Nora here that his face makes me mad. It does. It pisses me off. It looks like every time he talks, his top lip gets sucked in, and then when his top lip gets sucked in, his nose gets sucked in. It looks like he's sucking a dick. I swear it does. It does. And like his nose, oh, I can't stand him.
All new Talk Latelys every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Okay. I'll start with contact information first. I guess since so many people on Facebook, I'll say facebook.com/MakeImpact, MakeImpact, because, we have to spell phonetically in our culture. Or you can go to makeimpact.com, MakeImpact.com, and if you go to the events page, you'll be able to see information about the event that's forthcoming. And just look around the website in general to see what Impact is about. Of course, I can be reached at 856-452-1551, and that's also on the website as well. The book, I don't have a link to that on the website, interestingly enough, but it can be found on Amazon.com, and it's called The Success Guide for the Unstoppable Entrepreneur. And it may be easier to just search for my name because that's the only book I've listed on Amazon at this time. But it's The Success Guide for the Unstoppable Entrepreneur. And that's where the book can be found. Yep. So, again, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed the time. I look forward to spending more time with you in a couple of weeks. Okay. Thanks for having me.
Megan?
Yes.
Hi, this is Miss J.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine. Okay, so we are live on Big Exposed Radio at the Sugar Shack, and I have introduced you to our Shackers, but with your story being so compelling, it's better coming from you to briefly describe who you are and what it is that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Megan Sorolowski, can you tell our listeners who you are?
Like you said, my name's Megan Sorolowski. I live in Michigan, and I wrote a memoir about this crazy time period in my life where all this stuff was happening at the same time. I gave birth to my daughter. I went through a divorce, child custody, postpartum, stayed in the mental health ward, anxiety, and I was doing all that while I was in law school, and I moved back home with my parents, and it was a crazy 3 years of my life, so I decided to write about it.
3 years.
Yeah.
But we can't forget that the book will be released. When?
Well, it's actually already online. So it's supposed to be released tomorrow, but my publisher put it out today. So it's on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles and paperback and in ebook format.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. I was trying to prep it for tomorrow, but congratulations. It's really a day early for you. Congrats.
I know. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's start with I won't say the very beginning, but you were married. Mm-hmm. So how long were you married?
Right. Yeah, we were only married for about 4.5 years.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was
4.5 years. So in 4.5 years, was going into the marriage, was it good? And then within the marriage, that's when things started to turn, or did you know already going into it how it was going to be?
Yeah, I am such a cliche. I will admit that right now. It was not that good going into it. I always called his problems, I always said he had anger issues, but it was more than that. It was an emotionally abusive marriage. And I just was in complete denial. And so I thought, while we were engaged, I was like, oh, we'll go to therapy. I'll be able to help him. It's fine. I mean, it's such a cliche. And, of course, it didn't get any better. And it just got worse and worse. And, to the point where I didn't even know who I was anymore. And I had very low self-esteem and didn't have any self-worth and felt worthless. And I still didn't know that that's what emotional abuse is. That's domestic violence. I didn't even know it.
Yeah. So going into it and knowing what you were getting, so it wasn't going to be a surprise once you got there. You knew what you were going to get. How the abuse? So it was physical, it was emotional, was it sexual? What was the abuse?
It was emotional, and like I said, at the beginning, I just thought, okay, well, when he gets angry, his way of arguing is to call me names and what have you. Well, no, that's not right. Your spouse should not be calling you names. I mean, he would say things like, my friends are only friends with me because they feel sorry for me, or I should be lucky that he married me because nobody else is ever going to marry me. And it just, it went on and on, for 4 years. And, it got worse as in he got angry more often. So the emotional abuse was there from the beginning, but I was able, I don't want to say but it was, he was able to go a few months without what I called his temper tantrums. Whereas, the last year we were married, he had a tantrum almost every week. And he loved to control me, and it was a bad situation.
So with him trying to control you and staying, so you have a beautiful daughter, correct? Out of it.
Yeah.
So within the 4 years and it got bad, when did you know you had enough? What was that moment when you said, I can't do this?
Right, it kind of started right after Madeline. Our daughter was born. She was born in December of 2010. And I moved back home with my parents about 2 weeks after she was born because, my ex wasn't helping at all. And then the postpartum started to set in. And finally, that got so bad that my doctor was like, you know what, you need to go to the hospital. And I was actually admitted into the mental health ward for postpartum. And it was there that I had group therapy with 10 strangers. And they told me, you're being emotionally abused and you need to get out of this marriage. And it boggles my mind that it took 10 strangers to tell me that. And another thing I like to tell people, too, is that, at this time, I was in law school, and I was taking, criminal procedure classes and, family law and domestic, cases, and it still went right over my head that I was in this situation. So, when I got out of the hospital, the next day I filed for divorce.
So you winded up in the hospital. What, if you don't, we won't go into that.
That's okay. I'm pretty open. So.
Okay. So what happened that landed you into the hospital?
I called my doctor and I asked her, because I was already on an anti-anxiety antidepressant for postpartum, and it wasn't helping. So I called her and I was like, could you up, the dosage? And she was like, Megan, you're at the highest dose. She's like, I can't go any higher. You need to go to the hospital. And when I got to the hospital, I was like, well, what are you going to do for me here? And that's when they said, well, we're going to take you upstairs to the mental health ward and treat you. And I was scared. I'm like, what? I'm not crazy, though. I mean, that's what I thought. And, and it's like, that's one of the reasons why I wrote the book, because, anyone that has any mental health issues, you shouldn't be afraid to go to the hospital and seek treatment, and you shouldn't be scared because, normal people are in there. They're just having a rough time.
Exactly. But because of, I'm pretty sure, the postpartum of having the baby, the emotional on top of that, in law school, trying to be a wife, I guess you really didn't have an outlet. You felt as though you didn't have an outlet. You didn't know which way you were going.
Yeah, and it took me going to the mental health ward to actually take me out of the situation and go into a neutral place where, you know, I wasn't around the situation. I wasn't, you know, around my ex. I wasn't around, you know, Madeline. I wasn't around my parents. I was in this neutral place where I finally was able to kind of like get away and, you know, seek the treatment and work on myself and get better. So when I came out, you know, I felt a lot better, obviously, and that was the point of the treatment. So it definitely worked for me.
So you're in law school, you finished, then what?
You know, I finished, I was a little delayed because I was supposed to finish in 2012. So I finished actually September, no, I did finish in 2012. I was supposed to finish in 2011. So I finished in September 2012. I took the bar in the state of Michigan. I missed it by like 10 points. So sad. And then I decided, you know, I still want to use my law degree, so I'm actually, I trained to become a court mediator, and that's what I do now. I mediate civil cases, and I just finished my training to do domestic relations cases. So I'll be mediating divorces and child custody, which I think it's a good fit, because I could say, hey, I've been here. I've been right where you guys are.
You can speak on it.
Exactly, yeah. So I liked the training, and I think I'm going to, you know, I like mediating because I like being able to solve the problems, you know, try to, like, help the solution. So I think that's my niche in law, because I don't really want to take the bar again, to be honest.
I haven't taken it, but I've heard it's pretty tough. So
it's brutal, yeah. I mean, hands down to everyone who passed it on the first time.
Wow.
Because, yeah, it's a little brutal.
So once again, we're back to that stress level. So you're stressing of what's going on in the house. You're stressing of what's going on outside of the house. You're trying to pass. You're trying to go to school. You're trying to work. You're trying to do all these things. And you're at the highest level of medication. That's a lot. So when a doctor says,
at one time I was on like 7 different meds. It was crazy.
Yes. So when you're at the highest level of medication and the doctor is saying, I can't give you anything else, where does your mind go from there? What are you thinking?
Oh, complete panic. Complete and utter panic. You know, just because I have anxiety disorder anyway, so it was just a panic attack. And, I mean, I was crying on the phone with my doctor. I was like, no, you don't understand. Just give me something. Give me something. And she kept saying, I can't do anything for you. You need to go to the hospital. And yeah, it was, I mean, it's just, that's when you feel like, is anything going to work? Am I ever going to feel better? Am I ever going to feel like, you know, my normal self again? And yeah, it was very, very scary.
So, do you think prior to you getting married that the depression was already there? Or did it start within the marriage?
It definitely started within the marriage. Like I said, you know, I have anxiety disorder, and I've had it since I was 19. So that didn't really factor into anything in our marriage because I got married when I was 26, I think. 26, yeah.
Okay.
And, yeah, you know, I wasn't depressed during our marriage. I mean, it was good that I had law school as kind of my outlet, because, you know, I was mostly there, especially the first year you kind of live at law school. So, you know, I escaped my classes, basically. So it was nice to, you know, get away from my ex-husband and get out of the house. So, no, I wouldn't say the depression was there. I was definitely on the edge. It was more anxiety for me because I didn't know what mood he was in all the time. And my day was dependent on what mood he was in that day.
So did he have a problem with you going to law school?
No, he didn't. I mean, he, I don't even know, because at first he didn't, and then he, you know, made fun of me because I ended up failing a class, and he made fun of me for that, and it was, you know, so I don't even know the answer to that anymore, because, you know, when I think back, I mean, he seemed but he was fine with it, and maybe he wasn't really fine with it. Maybe that's why the arguments got worse.
Do you think it was a little bit of jealousy?
Probably. I mean, he never went to college or anything, which was fine. I mean, he actually, he dropped out of high school, and he ended up getting his GED, and, I've always said, I'm like, some people just, they don't want to go to college, and that's fine, and there was probably some jealousy there, which, that's the last thing I wanted him to feel, but, I mean, I didn't like the career I was in. I was working in nonprofits for 8 years, and I wanted a change, and that's what I wanted to do, and I did.
So, you go through your divorce, and you started to write. Were you writing during the divorce or thereafter?
It was after. It was like, I took the bar in January 2013, or in February of 2013, and in Michigan it takes forever to get results. So it was like the end of May by the time I got my results. So I was kind of like, what am I going to do now? And so that's when everyone said, you know what, you need to write your story down, because everyone knew that I liked to write. So, that's what I did. I kind of just sat down one day and started writing, and I was lucky enough to have a publisher offer me a contract.
Wow. Well, congratulations. So, what made you decide to come up with the title? It's an interesting title.
Yeah, the title kind of comes from, the prologue in my book, or the preface. It kind of talks about how I was in this moment, when the second time, because I went to the mental health ward twice. And the second time, I would just remember, I was crying in my bed, and my dad was calling me Meggie, which is his nickname for me. Only my dad can get away with calling me that. Mm-hmm. And I remember specifically thinking, I'm not Meggie anymore. Who am I? And that's where that title came from. And then the subtitle about my daughter, it was because of her that I filed for divorce. She couldn't grow up in the environment that, was the state of our marriage. So I had to let go of the marriage. And, and she kind of helped me out of the depression, too, because, I had to take care of her, and that was my job, and my ex wasn't helping, and he gave up, his custody rights pretty much right away. I mean, he didn't want joint custody, he only wanted visitation. So, she definitely helped me to let go, and she definitely helped me to live again and live for a purpose. Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, and your book is out today, real briefly, if you can, where can our listeners be able to find you and the book?
Well, they can find me at my website, and I'll spell it out. It's www.megyrulewski.com. And you can find, there are ways to contact me on there. You can find the book buy links, but you can also go to Amazon and Barnes & Nobles and, look me up by my name or, the title of the book. And it's all on there in ebook format and paperback.
Well, thank you so much, Megan. I appreciate it, and I do want to bring you back in a couple of weeks, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. This is Miss J with Engineer Robbie. We'll be back on Big Exposed Radio at the Sugar Shack.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Perry. And Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, here for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. Yeah, we love it when the music does the talking.
And the music stops when someone gets killed.
So never let someone get behind the wheel if they've been drinking. So keep it real. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hemorrhoids, you cannot have a colonic.
Well, I had hemorrhoids when I had the baby. All that pushing, he blew my behind out. Okay. But they've been cured, you know, after I sat in that little pool of whatever the mess that you do at the hospital, and then they give you a little, you know, prescription afterwards, and so it's been cured up. But, yeah.
Did you have laser? Did you have laser surgery to remove them?
No, it wasn't like that, Carl. Okay. How you doing?
Okay,
mine back was blown out from having a baby.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just making a joke.
Yeah, but, you know, I just wanted you to pass that on because, you know, I think it's a good thing about colonics. Yes. But I was so disappointed when he said, no, because you got hemorrhoids, you cannot get a colonic.
Well, sweetheart, why don't you get your hemorrhoids fixed? Is it impossible because of homosexual sex?
No, because you know why? Because you know that doctor with the Z that you went to?
Yeah.
That's the one I went to, and they totally screwed it up.
Dr. Zismore?
Don't say his name.
Why? No,
because I don't want him to get any business.
First of all, he's a dermatologist. You know, so I don't even know why you went to him for a colonic. Look, listen to me.
No. I went to him for the hemorrhoid.
No. Go to a general practitioner. Why are you going to a dermatologist to fix the damn hemorrhoid? Carl, please.
Okay.
Go get your hemorrhoids fixed. You can get hemorrhoids fixed now. I mean, am I detecting that you're a gay male?
Yes.
Yes.
How you doing?
How you doing? The thing is that you might want to get your hemorrhoids fixed and stick with being a topper more than a bottomer so that they can really heal.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm tired of buying Preparation H. I'm tired of it.
Well, the thing is that you got to lay off taking it and just start giving it more.
Oh, see, but I'm a bottom girl.
Yeah, I understand that. Then your behind is going to forever stay blown out, and you're going to forever stay, you know, bloody in the sheets. Shout out to Tigger. You understand what I'm saying?
Girl,
all right, I know this conversation has gone left, hasn't it?
I know. Okay, hey, good. About your CD is the bomb.
Thank you, Carl.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Big Tigger, I'm sorry, but you know his two-way. He's probably already changed his numbers. How you doing? Au revoir.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. The only thing I didn't learn in school today is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
I didn't realize, and you know, it had a place for you to put your clothes and your shoes if you was to get naked, but it wasn't that kind of parlor.
Right. Yeah, right.
You know, with the Chinese people with the little fingers and stuff. It wasn't that kind with the happy endings. But it was so good. I laid down on the table. He didn't even tell me that he was getting ready to turn this machine on that was going to... I fell asleep. It was like 3 minutes in, I was gone. And it was only for 10 minutes.
Wow.
But I was gone 3 minutes. I was like, and it massaged, not only did it do the part where I was injured, but it did all the way up to the top of my skull, like right there in the middle. That's why I was gone. It was like giving me the neck treatment. It was like a passion mark. But, you know, it was really good. It felt wonderful. It was wonderful.
Passion marks hurt.
I know, it was hurt so good.
you be trying to enjoy it, like
stop the blood. Am I bleeding?
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's enough.
Keep going. It was one of those. It was really, really fun though. I enjoyed it so much. I mean it. I can't wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow I just might get naked without them asking me. You think of why are you naked?
Kill the visual. Kill the visual.
Like this. Like I am ready. Get your baby. Thank you. I'm a have a baby.
Hey, we are back.
Hello.
At the Sugar Show from BeExposedRadio.com. Hello there, sir.
Hello.
Welcome back here.
Thank you.
Hey, you're so welcome. It's Friday. Are you super ooper duper? excited about Friday?
Yes.
What are your plans for this weekend?
Yes, I have a job orientation tomorrow.
Okay. Make the money.
Yes.
That's always important.
Yes.
You know, you got things to do. You need your coins.
Yeah.
And that's important. You got your gloves there, Engineer Robbie. I like them bumblebee gloves.
Yeah, I'm really be getting it in now. I got my sliding gloves.
You can fall
Yep.
correctly.
I can fall correctly.
Without,
Yep.
demeating your hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
so excited. I was using them today. Jabro told me I look like one of the guys from YouTube, a professional.
Oh, okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, I hope you enjoy falling.
I will.
So you can make use of your gloves.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with a little practice.
He shouldn't be falling with.
Well, he
gloves.
shouldn't be falling, but he gotta feel it.
I don't really want to fall in these sweatpants because I kind of just got them today, and I know if I fall in these, that's it. So yeah.
Falling can hurt. We seen that on that YouTube video.
Especially when you fall in love. I think that's the worst pain.
Yeah.
You like how I did that?
Yeah.
Transition of the day.
Falling in love, falling in a lot of love is my music. What do you think? I think we talked on this, but
Here it comes. You thought we forgot?
That's not.
How have you ever said to someone, I like you, but I'm just not quite into you like that? But you said it respectfully, but then it kind of sounded a little harsh.
I don't understand how you can do that. I don't understand.
Break
how you
somebody
can heart. No, I understand how you can do that. I'm saying like how you can tell somebody, "Oh, I like you," but I don't like you enough.
Because it's crap.
What's the basis of like?
I mean, you can like somebody as a friend.
Yeah. Well, say that. Don't
I'd rather for someone to say, but it's still going to come out the same. They're not into you. So instead of harshly saying, I'm not into you, it's, I think we're better off as friends.
But if I'm starting off a conversation by saying, I like you, what's the first initial thought you're going to have? Like, oh, he likes me.
He likes me.
Yeah.
Not like we cool, we gonna hang out and go to the movies.
So if I start off with I like you, but just not in that way, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
So
it's gonna hurt bad. Because when your ego, like, why am I not good enough? And if I like you, you should like me mentality. Because some people have that mentality. If I like you, you should like me also.
Yeah.
We should like each other.
I do. I have that mentality.
You can't have that mentality.
Yeah. I'm finding that out more and more each day.
No. Yeah, you get your heart broken real fast that way. Because
I'm too old to get my heart broken.
No, you're not. You're never too old to get your heart broken.
Let me say I've come to terms with disappointments in life. Like, I know certain things aren't going to go the way I expect them. Like love, or when you like somebody, I've come to grow. I've come to learn that things aren't going to always turn out the way.
Don't put expectations on someone because you'll get disappointed every time.
Yeah.
So, the baby gun.
Why was a shot fired? Wow.
I think I just like that button.
Oh man, and it sounds so cool because it's small and it's just like you hear it clicking.
That sounds like a really big gun.
That sounds like a baby gun. That sounds like
It does sound like a baby gun.
A little toy gun. But so, do you think your ego would be crushed that badly because someone says, "Hey, we cool, but
It would.
I see you as a brother.
You know,
Anyone still say stuff like that?
nah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
people
like
still
I
say
think
that.
that now it's just like, oh, you like my best friend. Like, no, I don't want to be a best friend.
A friend zone.
I told someone that.
Oh.
Miss J.
I did.
I'd rather somebody tell me early
Yeah.
than me get my feelings all invested.
But, you know, I don't want anyone to get their feelings invested in me because I know how my life is, and my life right now is not at that I can invest in you like you want to invest in me. That's not where my life is. So when I told that person that, it was like, you know, I needed a cool guy friend, like just a guy friend. He wanted something else. But when you're open and honest to tell someone, you know, I'm not interested into you like that, then it's 20 questions of why.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
But I can do this for you, and I can treat you better, and, you know, just give me a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not into a person, you can't make them be into you, or you into them,
Yeah.
or vice versa. Because it's the only thing it's going to do is get ugly.
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I used to do that. I'm still pretty young, so... But I've learned how to not play that 20 questions game. Like, oh, I'm a great guy. Can't you see that? You know.
not that line.
Oh, you've heard that line before.
Captain Saberho.
It's like Captain Saberho if you telling a girl, oh, I'm a great guy. You know, I would treat you well. Because that's what guys... Well, that's what I heard, that women want a guy that treats them well. And that's my first line. Oh, I'm a good guy. I can treat you right.
Women want a guy that give them that.
Yeah.
That D right? That can't get right?
Mm-hmm. A lot of women say they're not there for that, but yet they'll stay in a bad relationship if...
We're humans. That's what humans do.
I understand that. But when you're asking a woman, are you just there for that reason? Her first response is, no, I'm not there for that. He does this, he does that. But that same guy that doesn't treat you well, you'll talk with your friends like, oh, girl, he blew my back out. I hate that. Oh, he blew my back out line. Like, when do women start saying that?
When the sex is good.
When the sex is good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see? Women like sex.
Oh, they do. Yeah,
women would stay with a man just for sex.
Oh, yeah, women will stay for the sex. Yes, they will. Now, that's a bad thing.
Absolutely.
But, yes. And guys will stay with women for the same thing.
Right.
You know, it's just a breakdown into communication that...
But women will allow themselves to go through so much more than a guy would. Because men put women through so much more. Like, you know, a guy would actually put his hands on a woman. But if the sex is great to her, she will stay in that same area and not want to do better. Because the penis is good.
Well, mood killers. What is a mood killer?
A mood killer?
Conversation.
Burping.
Farting.
Bringing up old relationships. My boyfriend used to do that.
I like when people bring up their old relationships, because when they tell me about their past, it lets me know what I can be doing better.
Right.
So I'm actually intrigued about people's past versus their present, because when you're in your past, you know, you're a totally different person.
To a certain extent, yes.
You're a totally different person in a different relationship anyway, until you let the real you come out. As I always said, someone will let you meet their representation first.
Mm-hmm.
For the first 6 months. After the first 6 months, then there's no holds bar, and you can act a monkey all day. And it's like, okay, now I know what to expect from you. Because when you were whining and dining and pursuing me, you weren't doing all this other stuff. Now that we've been in the relationship for a while now I see who you really are.
Yeah, I'm not guilty. I am guilty of that because, like, when I'm first pursuing a woman, I like to have my best foot forward. Like, I don't use too much profanity, or I don't use misogynistic ideas about women. But, and then if we get into a relationship, I still don't use those misogynistic ideas. But if it's a point to where it's though you tell me that there's nothing more and we're just friends, or, you know, it can't go any further, I'm like, oh, okay, then cool. I don't have to be somebody or not be somebody I'm not. Just be a little bit nicer than what I really am. So I can be me. I can be comfortable. I can do certain things. I can say certain things. You know, I can look at another woman's butt while we're together because we're not any more than just friends. I'm going.
So how do you feel about being friends with benefits?
It's stupid. It's very stupid. If we're friends, we can just be friends. What is the benefits part? I will never have a relationship where it's just sex. Never.
I told you don't ever say
That is outright lies. That is not true.
That is not lies.
I told you never say never.
Never say never?
Mm-mm.
I believe I can say never in that situation because I will never allow myself knowingly have a relationship that's just sex.
Never say never.
He's still young.
And the reason I say that is because you haven't really lived a full life yet. So what you're saying now in your 20s, I guarantee you in 10 years you won't be saying it. I guarantee you in another 10 years thereafter you won't be saying that. You'll be reflecting back those 20 years because it will go by so quickly that you wish you were back in your 20s to relive the things that you didn't do, or things when you get in the next 20 years future-wise, things that you wish you could have changed and did differently in your 20s.
Yeah.
Because your 20s, between your teens and your early 30s, are kind of like your mess-up time. You got time to mess it up, try to fix it up, but by the time you turn 35, you should already know where you are, what you want to do. You shouldn't be in the club every weekend. I mean, unless you're single and you have no intention in ever getting married, and you know you have no plans in ever getting married, and you have no kids, you have no responsibilities, then you can be in the club. But first of all, there's nothing in the club Monday through Sunday. There's nothing in the club every day.
I believe that.
It's nothing to going out every day, but a lot of people do it. So you have time now to mess up, find love, screw it over, try to get back with her in the next 20 years to fix what you done broke in your 20s because she was your true love and you messed up and you said some things that you didn't want to say that you did say. Yeah.
It's funny. I'm very careful about how I do things. So every woman I meet in my life, I always try to treat them as if I'm going to have them in my life for the rest of my life. I mean, not just like not just on a girlfriend level, but like a friend level as well. Like,
that's not a bad thing, you know.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not.
It's not a bad thing.
Because you never know who you may need later down the line.
Exactly. And karma is a bitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't want to mess over people to think that you're bettering yourself by screwing them over, because it's going to come back to you fourfolds over.
Right.
But you always have to protect your heart, because your heart can't protect you. You have to protect your heart. So, ooh, I like that. Ring the bell on that. I like that. So
I kind of like that too.
Me too. Thank you. We'll keep that note on that. So with that being said, every female is different. And it's some females you can bring home to mama. It's some females you can bring to meet your daddy. It's some females you can bring home to meet your siblings. And it's just some females you just can't bring home.
All right.
So you kind of got to know what type of female you're getting ready to get involved with.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she's telling you, I don't see our relationship, or if you're dating for so long and you're trying to get a feeling and she's still on a apprehension level, she's not into you.
Right.
If she always got her hand out, she's not into you. If she always wants you to come to a battle or fight because she didn't got her mouth into something, she's not into you. Just leave that alone.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get yourself hurt. So out of all three of those just brief scenarios, you're going to get yourself hurt.
Right.
So I always say, let the man above or whoever it is you worship bring that person to you. In the meantime, you just have fun, because these are your 20s to your 25, 30. That's when, like I said, you're supposed to screw up, try to get your life together, figure out what you want, but have fun and enjoy yourself, because the next 10 years you cannot get back.
All right.
And you don't want to sit around regretting things that you didn't do from 20 to 21, 21 to 22, 22 to 23, 23 to 24, and so forth.
All right.
So I always say, have a vision board. A vision board will guide you on things that you want to accomplish. Because as you see, it's now August the 1st. Where's the year gone so far? Just that quick. Now we're getting ready to go into August, September, October, November, December. What is it that you want to accomplish from now, August, until December? And make a vision board. If it's somebody that you like, that you really are interested with, go up to them and let them know. Don't sit back and hide between your thoughts of, I really want to talk to them, but don't be afraid of rejection. Rejection makes you stronger.
Yeah.
You might soak a little bit, but believe me, it'll be the next person to walk by. Oh, I like, you'll forget about that person that jilted you, because you'll see somebody else prettier that you're interested in. If she say no, okay, whatever, next, until you get it right. And that's what life is about. Going through trials and tribulations until you can get it right. You'll be having some bumps and bruises, like skateboarding. You'll be having some bumps and bruises.
Yeah.
But guess what? It'll make you better. Instead of being sheltered and not knowing. That's the worst thing in the world, to be sheltered and then go out into real life and have no idea about emotions, people, places, and things.
All right.
So
that's why I've been going through some little certain, instances, and I knew, like, certain things would happen, and I knew it just wasn't right. But I allowed myself to, like, just stick it. I thought I was going to be able to stick it out, and obviously I wasn't able to, but I also let those things happen so I could learn from those experiences, because I'm not going to let the same thing happen twice. I'm not going to let that happen, because I've seen what it is, so I can know later on in life. If the same situation happens 2 months from now, I'll know the first sign of that, and I'll cut it off right there.
Real quick. You have to, because when you...
Can I say something on that?
Of course.
So, like, one thing about people in general, most of the time, if you fall for something, chances are you'll fall for it again. And then you won't see it coming. And then most of the time it takes somebody on the outside to see that you're about to make the same mistake again to come and help you. Most of the time it's hard for you to, see things on your own. Because I know there's a lot of stuff that I'd say, oh, I'm not going to do that no more, da-da-da-da. But then I start doing it again, but I don't notice it. Mm-hmm. Because it's something that I do. It's something that I've been doing my whole life.
Right.
So, you know.
But I mean, and what I'm saying is, like, if I've known, all right, so basically, if I know that the fire is hot, no, if I see the fire and I put my hand on it and I'm like, that hurts. When I see that same fire anywhere else, it could be home, school, work, I'm not going to put my hand on that fire anymore because I know that hurts. That's a no.
But then it's like, let's say you see a red fire. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, red fires are bad. Mm-hmm. But then you see a blue one.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, well, it's not a red one.
Right.
But it's still fire.
But you can still see that the whole situation of a fire is, it can be any color, red, blue, green, but you still know that's hot or that hurts me as a person. So, you know, it can come in any color or shape, but it's still a fire. That doesn't change it because it's blue. So if I see that blue fire anywhere else, it's like, whoa, that's a different color of fire, but it still has the same, you know, the same characteristics. So I'm not gonna put myself in that type of situation to hurt myself with this blue fire, even though my last encounter was with a red fire.
What are we talking about?
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
Yeah, I totally went to the left on that, but I'll let y'all finish.
No, I mean, if I see, all right, well, let's not do metaphors anymore. Let's just do straight up.
I mean, but it's just life.
Right. If it's like, let's do straight
I'm not
up.
supposed to be talking.
No, you good.
All right. Chick did me wrong. Not going to let that same thing happen to me.
But then, if another chick
in a different skin tone
and a different light
and a different package,
a different package,
I'm not going to let it happen because she's going to do the same, or she's not going to do the same thing, but she's going to show.
But what I'm saying is she can do the same thing, but it'll be a different color.
Right.
So it's like you don't know. Like, okay, I mean, this, maybe it's not the same. I mean, most of the time, why does my mic sound so crazy? Most of the time it turns out being what you expected it to be, but since it's a different color, you're like, well, I don't really know. It might not hurt me like the last one did.
Right, and then in that case, you'll deal with that situation or with that chick in that situation, and she'll do something, and you'll be like, whoa, the last chick did that. So let me not go any further with this situation here because I know it's not going to end.
All I'm saying, if that was true, then these girls are here, they'd be with a lot of good boyfriends, but they're not.
Right, but that's different. Gender-wise,
people.
Actually, it's a person type of thing.
Yeah.
Different people accept different things. My mother always told me, somebody can only do something to you because you allow it. If I allow somebody to treat me bad, they're going to treat me bad. If I allow you to throw water on me, you're going to throw water on me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, so we only got 12 seconds left. 10 seconds.
Well, on that note, this is Miss J.
This is your boy Morris.
And Engineer Robbie.
Enjoy your weekend, Shackers. We'll talk to you next week. BeExposedRadio.com at the Sugar Shack.